Welcome to Temple Update. I'm Gazelle Afshari.
And I'm Monica Trainer.
This summer, the American Association of University Professors removed Temple from its list of censored schools. The university was placed on the list in 1985 in a dispute over faculty retrenchment. The AAUP's investigating committee reports that it has a positive impression of Temple's general climate for academic freedom and tenure.
The National Cancer Institute is sponsoring a 5-year study on breast cancer prevention. The institute hopes to determine if the drug tamoxifen is effective in preventing cancer. Over the past 20 years, tamoxifen has been used to treat the early stages of breast cancer. Nearly 26,000 healthy women who are at high risk for cancer have volunteered for this nationwide study. A breast cancer clinic at Temple University Hospital hopes to end the anxiety caused by a sometimes deadly disease. Update's Michelle Baum reports.
Increased concern about breast cancer has prompted the recent opening of an extensive clinic located in North Philadelphia. The clinic, which is part of Temple's Comprehensive Cancer Center, offers a wide variety of services ranging from basic screenings to personalized psychiatric care. The facility itself has a predominantly female medical staff, which adds to its uniqueness. Dr. Sandra Chenal of the newly opened breast clinic explains why patients should shop around before receiving breast cancer care.
Go where you feel comfortable, and hopefully we can provide that, but I think the worst thing you can do is go somewhere and not feel comfortable with the whole package that you're getting, the physicians, the nurses, the environment, the setting. If you're not happy, then that sort of takes something away from your abilities to really get back on your feet again.
According to guidelines made by the American Cancer Society, screenings and mammographies are the keys to detecting breast cancer at an early stage. Baseline mammographies should be obtained between the ages of 35 and 40, while alternating year visits are recommended for women's ages 40 to 49. College-age women under the age of 25 should only conduct a self-breast exam on the same day of each month for early detection. Remember, radiologists are certified in mammography, and this should always be asked before receiving a screening. Acting as an outreach program for the community, the Temple Clinic plans to utilize its services and information to increase awareness about this growing concern. It is hoped that breast cancer clinics like this one in North Philadelphia will change the way people think about breast cancer, turning an otherwise fearful path of treatment into one full of hope and courage. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Michelle Baum.
The United States Department of Education projects that almost $4 billion in student loans will go unpaid this year. Officials blame the recession's effect on the job market as well as fundamental problems in the system for collecting the loans. This year will mark a 50% increase overall of defaulted student loans from last year.
A recent survey says that college students who have part-time jobs have a better idea of what's expected after graduation. The poll states that non-working collegians have an unrealistic idea of what they expect in salary and benefits from their first job. The survey also shows that 70% of all college students expect to start their first job within 6 months of graduation. A new policy on parking stickers has left commuters frustrated. Update's Katrina Nichols reports on Temple's parking woes.
Long lines for Temple's main campus parking lots has become commonplace this semester. Many areas fill up early each morning. Faculty and students complain that late-day parking has become difficult and time-consuming. Parking Director James Cirillo says the answer to this problem is education.
So there is available parking on the campus. It's just a matter of students getting educated as to what times the areas tend to become filled to capacity, so that they know any given time during the course of the day what their best chances are of entering a particular parking area.
Although many of Temple's prime parking spaces are filled early, the main campus boasts over 3,000 spots within its many secured lots. Cirillo also suggests students take advantage of little-used parking areas, such as lot number 5 at 11th and Diamond Streets.
What happens then is you still have a number of students early in the morning, just after 9, trying to enter the parking area, and they find out that it's filled to capacity and have to be redirected to an overflow area. As we progress into the semester, that should change somewhat. You're going to find more students who are carpooling, who are choosing alternate means of transportation, who will opt to park in overflow area.
Common Common sense and a lot of patience seem to be the only solutions offered in this parking dilemma. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Katrina Nichols.
You think parking is tough on Temple's campus. Officials at Brigham Young University report that if a student parks illegally, they could be kicked out of school. Campus police say they're targeting students that owe hundreds of dollars in unpaid tickets so far. No one has been expelled because of the new school policy.
A Pennsylvania college is looking for the best and brightest, and they're offering incentives to get them. Lebanon Valley College will offer tuition discounts for graduating high school students with good grades. Students in the top 10% of their class will pay only half tuition. Those in the top 20% will get a 1/3 discount. There's a new addition on Temple's campus that will make studying and research a little bit easier. Updates Lainey Siegel reports.
Research projects on any subject can be a student's worst nightmare. Here at Temple University's Paley Library, the new Scholars Information Center has made this task as easy as pushing a button on a computer. John Zanellis, the Associate Director of Libraries, says the Scholars Information Center is a facility that combines information and technologies that support education and research at the university.
It offers a variety of computing resources, such as in the applications area, word processing in spreadsheet. It also offers access to databases which reside on CD-ROM. CD-ROM stands for compact disk read-only memory.
The center is being funded in part by the student technology fee. This is the Scholars Information Center located in Paley Library. Although the administration feels very positive about the benefits it'll bring to the university, the real test is how it's affecting the students. Charles Nolan is a freshman returning after 13 years of being out of school.
I spend a lot of time here utilizing the databases that are here and collecting information and even finding books in the library from the one personal computer, and it's an incredible resource.
The administration is considering opening similar systems on the other Temple campuses. They hope to interconnect the systems sometime within the next year. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Lainey Siegel.
Widener University's Mechanical Engineering Department has received a $180,000 grant from the Boeing Corporation. This grant will be used to study structural fatigue and fracture. Boeing says that this is a key concern for helicopter design and an important part of the mechanical engineering curriculum.
Guess who's coming to Germantown? Producers of the newest Jonathan Demme film have been scouting locations for a typical house in Germantown. The owner of the house will be compensated financially for the use of his or her home in the movie. Co-starring Denzel Washington and Tom Hanks, it'll be shot in Philadelphia from October through February. Students with an interest in magazine publishing now have an outlet to showcase their talents. Updates Mi-Sung Kim has more.
With the job market being especially competitive and demanding, it is important for students to know their own specific skill of the trade and the experience that come with it. Temple University has a class where students can get a feel for real work situation in publishing. This is a journalism class that gets students to publish their own magazine entitled Philadelphia People. Catherine News, Associate Professor in the Department of Journalism, tells us about the importance of student involvement.
The class itself staffs up as on a regular magazine, so we have one student who takes primary responsibility for the editing, and another student becomes the advertising sales manager, another one is a photo editor, and another one becomes the publisher. So they have primary responsibilities assigned. However, because it is an educational situation, we encourage the class members to get involved as much as they can.
Professor News also emphasizes the value of the class for students in the job market.
One of the valuable things about the class, I think, is that it gets the students out and working. They don't spend full time in the class. They're out dealing with people in various professional capacities around the city. And I think that's one of the primary values. It allows the students a chance to not only set up contacts that might be valuable for them when they go job hunting after graduation, but to learn how to behave and operate in a professional capacity.
Students see the class as an opportunity for gaining hands-on experience in the world of journalism.
It's not the textbook way to get things done, so you learn to deal with deadlines and everything as it would be in a regular job.
The unique part of the program is that it prepares students for the real world before graduation. It's a regular who's who in Philly, published right here at Temple University. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Mi-Sun Kim.
University of Oklahoma officers have found a loud and unique way to catch book thieves. OU's safety officers have placed dummy bags around campus. Inside each bag is $100 and 10 decibel alarm that immediately goes off when the bag is picked up. The program started after a number of book bags were reported stolen. Since the start of the program, one student has been caught, and there have been no further reports of stolen bags.
There's much more ahead on Temple Update.
Coming up on Temple Update, Dennis Spence reports on the winning women's soccer team.
And it's Oktoberfest for the Temple Symphony Orchestra, when Temple Update continues.
When you give blood, you're giving something really precious, like the chance to graduate or have another birthday.
Or fall in love.
You're giving another chance at life.
So give another chance and give blood.
If you're 17 or older and you want to give blood, call the Red Cross.
And now here's Dennis Spence with sports. Dennis, the football season is not going as well as we expected it to.
Derailed a little bit, but there's definitely some room for some improvement.
I hope.
The Temple football team suffered yet another loss, this time at the hands of Washington State. The Owls were defeated 51-10 to drop their record to 1-4. The only bright spot for Temple was an 89-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by sophomore Lou Lawhorn. Temple head coach Jerry Byrne has called the first half of this season one of the most disappointing he has ever experienced. The Owls next play at home against Pittsburgh at Veterans Stadium. If you tune in the Eagles-Chiefs game this Sunday, you may see some familiar faces on the Kansas City sideline. Todd McNair, who played for the Owls from 1985 to 88, is now a running back for the Chiefs. McNair has become one of the best all-purpose backs in the NFL. Kansas City quarterback coach is former Temple head coach Bruce Arians. Arians coached the Owls for 5 years in the mid-'80s. Former Owl and chief defensive back Kevin Ross retired last season. The Temple field hockey team traveled to Penn State looking to upset the third-ranked Nittany Lions. The Owls took an early lead in the contest but lost 4-2. Temple was led by senior co-captain Tony Bayard, who scored one goal and assisted on another. The Owls had better success back at home, defeating St. Joseph's 1-0 in an Atlantic 10 matchup. The victory gave head coach Michelle Madison her 50th career win. The Owls are currently ranked 10th in the NCAA field hockey poll. And the Temple women's tennis team is preparing for a run at next spring's Atlantic 10 title. The Owls have been busy this fall playing matches against Virginia Tech, Virginia, and St. Joseph's. The Owls have been led this season by the doubles tandem of Christine Antogiovanni and Amy Williams. The Temple women's volleyball team has had a tough season so far. The Owls have lost all 5 of their matches that have gone to a 5th game, including this one against George Washington. Temple led 2-1 after 3 games with the Lady Colonials, but could not close out their victory in their conference season opener. The Owls have been led this season by sophomore Kathleen Harrigan, who leads the team in kills, kills average, and digs. Temple has upcoming games against Rutgers and Rhode Island. The women's soccer team is enjoying another successful season. The Owls, seen here against St. Bonaventure, have posted a 4-1-2 record in the program's second season. Sophomore All-America candidate Patrice Rutland leads the team in overall scoring and assists, while sophomore Ayanna Love leads the team in goals scored with 6. Temple has upcoming games against LaSalle, Penn, and Dayton. And after getting off to a slow start, the Temple men's soccer team has put together 2 straight victories to raise its record to 3-4-1. Junior Chris Cotton scored 2 goals to lead the Owls past LaSalle, while senior goaltender Pat Kivlin stopped a school record 18 shots in a 2-0 shutout of St. Bonaventure. Temple has upcoming games on the road at Rutgers and Philadelphia Textile, and they return home against Rhode Island. On the links, the Temple golf team finished in first place at the South Regional Championships recently to advance to the 1992 ECAC Championships. The Owls were led by senior Rick Speaks, who won the medalist title on the 4th playoff hole after firing a 2-over par 74. This kind of success is not new to Temple golf to the Temple golf program. Head coach John McDonald has led the Owls to 5 Atlantic 10 championships and 9 undefeated seasons. Whether it's football, basketball, or any other sports team here at Temple, the athletic trainers are often the unsung heroes. Update's Sheila Sadowski brings us their story.
injuries are just part of the business. They're going to happen no matter how good the surface is, no matter how strong your athlete is. Sports always going to have injuries.
You never see them on the court or on the field. But when the injuries happen, the athletic trainers are there, ready to help.
We get everything from, cuts and bruises to sometimes athletes have to have surgeries on their knees, ankles, shoulders. And so you can see anything. Sometimes there are life-threatening situations.
The trainers are a group of men and women trained in CPR and first aid with backgrounds in gross anatomy, exercise physiology, and kinesiology. The trainers understand the athletes and what it takes to keep them in top form. They wrap, ice, and rehabilitate the players to get them back in shape and able to play again. The student trainers who work in Temple's athletic department are studying to be professional trainers or physical therapists. They are a huge part of the program, giving their time to work in the training room and at the athletes' practices. The field of athletic training is not just for men. Many opportunities for women have been opening up in the last few years, so much so that Schwilly said the field is almost 50% men and 50% women. An athletic program is only as good as the quality of its players. The athletic trainers maintain the department's high standards by ensuring the health of the athletes.
Not too many people are aware of the role of the athletic trainer and how important we are, and that you really couldn't run a Division I program without the athletic training program.
Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Sheila Sadowski.
Sometimes people forget, Monica, that it takes more than athletes to make up a sports program, and trainers are a very big part of it.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks a lot, Dennis.
Thanks, Dennis. Lightning may strike twice in the same place, but it does strike men more than women. The National Weather Service statistics show lightning strikes men at alarming rates. 65 men died in 1990 at the hands of a bolt, while only 7 women died. Between 1968 and 1985, only 15% of all lightning fatalities were women.
Just when you thought it was impossible to create another soft drink, Coca-Cola has announced its plans to test market in Philadelphia a new clear soda. The flavored sparkling water drink called Nordic Mist is being targeted at consumers under age 30. A Coca-Cola representative says that the clear caffeine-free drink will come in 5 flavors, including raspberry, peach, pineapple, black cherry, and a kiwi guava combination. The city has year-long events planned to celebrate the quincentennial anniversary of Columbus's discovery. However, some Philadelphians feel the explorers shouldn't be honored. Update Suzanne McCool reports.
Native Americans say part of the city's history is being removed. They are opposed to the name change of Delaware Avenue to Christopher Columbus Boulevard. Delaware was the name of the Indian tribe that lived in this area. New signs went up this past January as part of Philadelphia's quincentennial celebration of Columbus' discovery. Over 13 neighborhood and Indian organizations have banned it in opposition to the change.
United States Congressman Thomas Follietta suggested this change to Councilman James Tyoon. Tyoon and Councilwoman Ann Verna proposed Bill number 237, which was passed in November of 1989. Number 237 calls for the name change of the entire avenue. But when the actual signs were erected, only those south of Spring Garden were replaced.
Kathy Murray from Verna's office said that the Board of Surveyors must approve all street name changes. Due to the controversy, the board decided not to change signs north of Spring Garden.
I think that was a compromise they felt that they had worked out, but a compromise takes 2 parties. And it was only them saying, the people in favor of the name change saying, okay, we'll only rename half of it. That wasn't accepted by anybody. Nobody ever said, okay, that's a fair compromise.
Delaware Avenue passes in front of Penn Treaty Park, where William Penn met with the Delaware Indians. It also runs along the city's port, and Murray says this is why the avenue was picked to honor Columbus. Janice Cawley says the Native American Indians are still fighting to get the old signs back, along with some awareness to Indian concerns in the city.
I hope that people will realize, the people we need to realize, the city council members and the city officials will realize how important it is to keep this history and this heritage alive here.
Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Suzanne McCool.
Singer-songwriter Prince recently signed a $100 million contract with Warner Brothers Records, officially making him the highest-paid pop music performer. Prince was named vice president of Warner Brothers Records and will receive $10 million for each album that he releases. Made popular by the 1984 film Purple Rain, Prince's nine-figure salary exceeds Madonna's recent record-breaking $60 million deal, also with Time Warner.
It's the voice of jazz in the Delaware Valley and an opportunity for students to get valuable experience. Updates Tim Brucker reports on Temple University's radio station, WRTI.
When people think of college radio, they often think about new wave music and a very weak broadcasting signal. Neither is true of the Temple Public Radio Network. The music emanating from Annenberg Hall is jazz, and the signal covers almost a quarter of the state of Pennsylvania. This kind of coverage area offers a unique opportunity for Temple students to gain exposure. Nearly all on-air jobs at the station are held by Temple students.
What we're doing is running a professionally managed radio station that utilizes student staff in at least somewhat a structured environment in terms of providing hands-on professional training.
With most of the on-air talent coming from Temple students and most of the behind-the-scenes work coming from full-time professionals, the Temple Public Radio Network transcends the genre of college radio. In fact, Eldridge has come to despise the term college radio.
I think quasi-professional is probably as close as you're going to come to it because we treat the students as professionals.
Much of the behind-the-scenes work is taken care of by professionals, but that doesn't mean Temple Public Radio is only for communications majors interested in on-air work.
If business students who are interested in some aspect of broadcasting want to get involved in marketing or sales or promotions, we have a department with students working there. It's not just radio production and DJing and news.
Over the past year, the Temple Public Radio Network has added stations in Harrisburg and Mount Pocono, with plans to add other stations in Dover, Delaware, and the Jersey Shore. Funding for these projects comes from the federal government and listener support. In fact, this year's spring fund drive was the most successful ever, with the final tally coming to more than $150,000. With listener support on the rise and more students offering their help, Temple Public Radio may not be the best-kept secret on campus for very long. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Tim Brucker.
And now returning to entertainment with Stephanie Carter. Stephanie, you have a story on Temple's favorite alum.
I sure do, Bill Cosby, but he doesn't sound like he's too happy. The new television season has Bill Cosby fuming. The Temple alumni has denounced many of the new TV shows that feature black performers. Cosby says the programs are undoing the positive images of African Americans that he helped establish. He says he's asking Hollywood to stop what he calls this horrible massacre of images. Now, if you're looking for that perfect gift to get your favorite Vulcan, why not get them the new edition of the Klingon Dictionary? The book was written by Mark Alkren, the man who taught Vulcan to Mr. Spock. The dictionary includes all the important rules, including reverse word order and the elimination of the letter K. Okren says his next work will be based on another Starfleet enemy, the Romulans. The Sound of Music is alive at Springs Temple University. Updates Lainey Siegel reports.
The Temple University Wind Symphony has been chosen from among 40 college and university ensembles to record a compact disc of Russian music for Toshiba EMI's Masterpiece series. Arthur Chodoroff is music director for the group.
The Masterpiece series is a series of recordings, compact discs, which is being produced by Toshiba EMI, which is a Japanese recording company, one of the largest companies in Japan making recordings. Their initial series will be 30 compact discs of concert band literature. Approximately 70% of the series will be transcriptions for concert bands. In other words, literature from orchestral or other instrumental or origins as transcribed for the concert band. And approximately 30% of the series will be literature as written and conceived originally for the concert band.
The first set of CDs has already been released in Europe. The next 6 discs will consist of United States university concert bands. Other schools selected for recording include the Cincinnati Conservatory, DePaul University, and the universities of Illinois, Maryland, and Colorado.
There are approximately 53, 54 students in the group, and the majority of those students are music students within the College of Music, ranging from freshmen all the way through graduate students.
Temple's Wind Symphony is slated to record sometime in April. The ensemble's recording is going to be released in the spring of 1993 in Japan. No release date is set for the United States. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Lainey Siegel.
College students may soon be hearing their favorite underground band on the radio. Media specialist Jeff Pollock predicts that eventually there will be an alternative rock station in each of the nation's top 100 market. Pollock says that Top 40 has lost touch and that the new trend is to specialize. He says that programmers are getting scared because several bands have had successful albums with no help whatsoever from radio. Pollock called the rise of alternative rock the most important movement since rock and roll moved from AM to FM in the mid-60s. Researchers at the Washington University Medical Centers have issued a warning concerning the use of personal stereos. Dr. William Clark says that extended use of Walkman-like devices at a high volume will cause irreversible hearing loss. The study contends that school-aged children are the most at risk. A recent survey found that 4 out of 5 kids owned a personal stereo. The Temple University Symphony Orchestra will help New Jersey celebrate Oktoberfest. The concert is part of the Garden State's Friends of Music concert series. The performance will be held on October 11th at the Ocean City Music Pier. The orchestra will also play at the Haverford School Centennial Hall on October 14th. Now, how much of this half hour will you remember? Researcher says not much. Washington State University professor Annie Lang says that viewers surveyed only minutes after newscasts usually remembers only 6 of the approximate 20 stories shown. Lang says the study shows that television can overload people's ability to retain information. That's all for entertainment. Now, back to news.
Thanks a lot, Stephanie.
Thanks, Stephanie. Yeah. Action AIDS of Philadelphia is looking for student volunteers to participate in its family program. This program helps people infected with the HIV virus or AIDS. The goal is to assist with family chores and give emotional support and companionship to the victims of AIDS.
For students who do it their way and get caught, the Song of Sinatra is not just a theme, it's a punishment. A Chicago high school teacher has discovered a new method of discipline, playing the tunes of Old Blue Eyes during detention. Bruce Jarrow has uncooperative students squirm through a half hour of nonstop music with no outside distractions. Janu claims he's asked the students to sing along, but so far the Frank Sinatra Detention Club has yet to become the Frank Sinatra Fan Club.
A truck driver delivering chips in Las Vegas was caught by surprise when 2 robbers demanded his freight. The driver gave the men what they asked for: potato chips. Apparently, the robbers confused Vegas chips with casino chips. The company's logo is a bag with both potato and gambling chips coming out of it. The men hit the driver over the head and took off, leaving the chips behind. Well, that's it for this edition of Temple Update. For Monica Traynor, Dennis Spence, Stephanie Carter, and the rest of the Update crew, thanks for watching.
See you next time.